Captain Lloyd W. Williams of the 5th Marine Regiment could hear the sounds of combat as his men made their way through Bella Wood, a newly arrived reinforcement for the struggling French and British allies. Suddenly, forms emerged from the thick woods, and the Marines raised their rifles, expecting to face Stahlhelm-wearing Germans. To their surprise, they found themselves overwhelmed by battered French infantry, their own allies. As the French soldiers retreated through the American line, a French colonel approached Captain Williams, but their communication was hindered by the language barrier. Frustrated, the French officer wrote a note, which Captain Williams read. The note contained an order, and in response, Captain Williams fixed his bayonet and defiantly uttered 6 words that would be remembered in the history of the United States Marine Corps: "Retreat hell, we just got here." In this video, hosted by Griffin Johnson, an armchair historian, we delve into the transition of the United States from a nation initially declaring neutrality and providing supplies to the Allies, to becoming a major participant in the downfall of the Central Powers during World War I. The video examines how President Woodrow Wilson, despite advocating isolationism and receiving advice from George Washington about avoiding foreign entanglements, ultimately led the United States into the war. For military historians, reading about battles, soldiers, and campaigns might not be enough. Memorabilia and collectibles can provide valuable insights. The video introduces the sponsor, Goat Guns, a producer of high-quality die-cast miniature-scale model firearms. These models, ranging from 4 to 15 inches in length, are designed to be as accurate as possible to their functional counterparts, with authentic details like wooden finishes and leather shoulder straps. The models, such as the M1 Garand or Thompson submachine gun, offer a realistic experience with features like detachable magazines, moving parts, and dummy rounds. Viewers are encouraged to support the channel by building their own Goat Guns collection. At the onset of World War I, the United States, protected by the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, closely observed the conflict with concern. American ambassador to France, Myron T. Herrick, advocated for the United States to play an active role in mediating the conflict, recognizing that America's opinion would carry weight. President Wilson emphasized neutrality, urging all Americans to remain neutral in thought and action. The government implemented measures such as prohibiting American banks from loaning money to belligerent nations to reinforce neutrality. However, this fiscal neutrality was short-lived as President Wilson reversed the decision in 1915, responding to the British Empire's financial challenges. This reversal marked a shift in American trade, as the United States began supplying goods to both the British and German empires, despite protesting neutrality. While the United States maintained its position as a neutral party, it was eager to engage in trade with both sides. American creditors flooded the British Empire with money, and in turn, the British spent this money on American goods. Germany also sought to purchase critical supplies from the United States, but the British naval blockade hindered the transportation of these goods. The United States initially protested the blockade but ultimately accepted British restrictions on food sales to Germany. This acceptance demonstrated America's double standard, accepting a British blockade while condemning Germany's submarine warfare. The sinking of the RMS Lusitania, which resulted in the death of 128 Americans, further pushed the American public towards the side of the Allies. German Americans faced prejudice and violence at home, intensifying as the war progressed. A significant event that propelled the United States closer to entering the war was the Black Tom Island explosion in July 1916. German agents ignited over $20 million worth of munitions stockpiled on the island, causing one of the largest non-nuclear explosions in history. The explosion resulted in a seismic shock felt as far as Philadelphia, damaging the Statue of Liberty and devastating Black Tom Island. This act of sabotage further motivated the United States to take action against Germany. President Wilson, initially hesitant to enter the war, faced mounting pressure from various sources. The Zimmermann telegram, a message sent by the German foreign minister to Mexico proposing an alliance against the United States, was intercepted and leaked to the American public. This telegram, along with the sinking of American ships, led President Wilson to request Congress to declare war on Germany in April 1917. The United States, ill-prepared militarily, relied on conscription to increase its forces. American troops began landing in Europe, and General John J. Pershing sought to keep his men together in a unified American army. The first major engagement fought by American troops was the Battle of Cantigny in May 1918. Despite initial difficulties, the Americans successfully captured the village, showcasing their ability in combat. Another significant battle was fought at Belleau Wood, where the U.S. Marines played a crucial role in repelling the German offensive. American troops also participated in the Meuse-Argonne offensive, the largest offensive in American military history at that time. Throughout these battles, American soldiers exhibited their bravery and contributed to the Allied victory. After the war, President Wilson brought his 14 points to the negotiations at Versailles, advocating for a League of Nations and self-determination for nations. However, his ideas faced resistance from other nations, and neither the Treaty of Versailles nor the United States' entry into the League of Nations was approved by Congress. This marked a return to isolationism and a desire to avoid foreign entanglements. In conclusion, the United States transitioned from a neutral observer to a major participant in World War I. President Wilson's efforts to maintain neutrality were gradually eroded, leading to America's entry into the war. American troops fought bravely and made significant contributions to the Allied cause. However, the aftermath of the war saw the United States return to isolationism, with Congress rejecting Wilson's proposed international agreements. The war marked a significant turning point in America's role on the world stage, but isolationist sentiments prevailed in the post-war era.